And success breeds success in everything we do. I don't care what it is. So if you can make small obtainable goals and reach them, they will add up over time.
Welcome to the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast, dedicated to you and your loved ones living at 100% for 100 years and beyond. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Plasker.
Welcome, everybody, to the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast. Yes, we are transforming health and longevity worldwide so that you and your loved ones, your entire family for generations, can live at 100% for 100 years and beyond. And I'm excited about today's guest because Mike Epstein and Mike and I go back a long time. Are you there, Mike?
Yes, I am, and very excited as well.
Yeah, this is fun. I want to introduce Mike to you. I know Mike from literally since we're 12 and 13 years old, even before that, 10, 9, 8, maybe 11. I don't know. It's a long time. And what's cool about Mike is way back he was a member of the Supreme Team. You remember that, Mike?
I do. It was one of my favorite teams next to the New York Jets.
Oh, man, you just ruined it for everybody. The Jets. Come on, man.
I got to show my colors.
Yeah, I guess you do. You know, I don't want to say that I'm a Giant fan, but that would really get a lot of people hanging up the phone on us. But we have a lot of good things to talk about because Mike is actually, he's been owned a Gold's. We also went to college together, actually. And after college, I went to chiropractic school, and Mike went and opened a Gold's Gym in Paramus, New Jersey. So he has owned a Gold's Gym for 27 years in Paramus. While there, he's been very active in the community. They do all kinds of things for the community over there with their gym. And he was president of their Paramus Business Association, their chamber. He has been the head of the president of the Gold's Gym Franchise Association. He's on their marketing committee. He's a pretty smart guy. And hey, I'm excited to say that he's now a Hall of Famer. Ain't that right, Mike?
Yeah, hey, you know, it's something they can never take away from me.
You know, you have to be around for a long time to make it in the Hall of Fame. The Gold's Gym Hall of Fame is what we're talking about, by the way.
Yeah, I was hoping it would be in Canton, Ohio, but that didn't work out the way.
That did not work out, but I'll tell you what is working out for you. You have done an amazing job changing so many lives in Paramus and the surrounding area of Bergen County, New Jersey, and really, honestly, worldwide, because Gold's Gym, close to 300 gyms, I think, worldwide, correct?
Yeah, actually, worldwide, over 700 now.
Oh, wow. So that's a lot of gyms, and it's exciting. They know a lot about exercise, and because it's kind of an important time, we have a world that's gone mad, and people are concerned about their vulnerability. They're concerned about their immune systems. There's all this talk with COVID-19 and about the most vulnerable people, and nobody's really talking as much about the least vulnerable people, which we know that exercise can help you become less vulnerable. We have a program that's out there, a YouTube called Becoming the Least Vulnerable Person. And I'm going to read some research highlights, and then we're going to talk about some people, maybe some stories where we know that you have experienced that these are true. Okay? Can I
Absolutely.
read through some? I'll read through some of these. You ready?
Yep, sounds good.
So this is from the Journal of Sport and Health Science, May 2019. The first highlight, acute exercise is an immune system adjuvant that improves defense activity and metabolic health. The data support a clear inverse relationship between moderate exercise training and the risk of illness, meaning that the more you have exercise in your life, your risk of illness goes down. And the next one on this list is that it's anti-inflammatory. So I know that you have so many stories. I've been in your gym. I love it there. I love how you keep it relevant, up to date, and current. Talk to us about some of the stories about people that you have seen that came in sickly and they started exercising, not just you, but really any Gold's Gym for that matter, or any gym for that matter, where there's good guidance like you have where you are. Talk to us about the changes that you see in people where they go not just stronger and more fit, but how it changes their whole life, their immunity, etc.
Yep, it's interesting because we have so many stories over the years at so many different levels. So one anecdote I think is really important is my staff. So my staff is around people all the time. We're in the gym, we're shaking hands, we're meeting people, and now we'll probably be fist bumping and doing some other stuff just to stay a little safer. But you know, we do all these things. We've been doing them for 27 years, and my staff hardly ever calls in sick. Myself and my partner, Art, who is also one of my college roommates at Delaware, along with you, him and I are never sick. You know, we're there all the time. We're energetic. We're ready to go. And I've seen it with people of all ages. So, you know, starting with my staff, I can just say that they come to work raring to go, and it's a rare day that they're under the weather, and they are around tons of people all the time. Every one of them is in good shape and makes following a healthy lifestyle a part of their life, and following things like the 100-year lifestyle. It's all a part of their lives.
I love that. And we see the same thing. I was just saying in another interview where I was interviewed on somebody's show where, you know, I've been in business and had our practice for 35 years, helping people of all ages, shapes, and size, thousands and thousands of patients over the years. I've been in rooms where I've spoken in front of thousands of people. At one time, I've given talks at Gold's Gym International and your core conventions on several occasions, and some of the other fitness groups, and, you know, rubbing elbows and shaking hands, giving hugs. And it's interesting that people that are fit almost never get sick. When you hear about people that are saying, you know, what am I going to do about exercise? Because you have a lot of loyal gym people. What do you tell people that are concerned about engaging with a gym or going to an exercise class? And certainly we are going to follow all of the federal and state guidelines until they change. And I promise you they're going to change. There's no way they cannot change. Talk to us about some of the things that you think are important in working out with people, motivation, things like that.
Yep. I mean, first of all, you can't not exercise. No one in this country should be not exercising at some level, whatever that may be. And there's obviously different levels for different people based on where they are in their health spectrum, etc. But when you're in the gym, just to speak about that for a minute, first of all, we obviously keep our gyms extremely clean. We do the best we can, but it's up to people too. We're all in it together, just like we're all in this together now. So when people come in the gym, washing their hands. I mean, I wash my hands all the time because I'm around tons of people, and I am shaking hands and touching equipment and doing all those things. So washing your hands, you know, we're talking about it like crazy now. It's something I've been doing like crazy for 27 years.
Right, which is, I think, the difference between, like, you know, a Gold's Gym versus, you know, there's a lot of gyms out there that they're dirty and they are not looked after and there's nobody around. You can let yourself in and let yourself out, and there's nobody there necessarily to clean up the way that it should be. So I love that. That's a priority for you. Keep going, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I think that the key to the whole thing is whether you start, and we'll probably touch on this at some point here when we're talking, but if you start exercising and you're alone, that's a wonderful thing, because any exercise, whether you're walking outside around the block or biking in your house on a trainer or whatever you're doing, that is wonderful. But when you come inside the gym, the added motivation, the added encouragement, the added expertise that is there on a personal basis, and probably just as important, the socialization. We are social beings. I think it's easy for us to keep clean. I think it's easy for us to keep clean as a facility. I think it's easy for us to keep clean and hygiene as individuals. And I think if we practice and do those things, we'll be fine. You can't not exercise, and we need to be around people. It is so encouraging. It's so motivating. And it can't be understated what that does to your whole persona and your whole outlook on life when you're able to feel physically fit and be around people who are like-minded and motivate you.
Yeah, because then you don't get on a roller coaster ride. I think that's one of the biggest things that we see with people who have not lived a life of fitness, where they are on a roller coaster. They're what we call in the 100-year lifestyle, we'll call them crisis-motivated people, like, oh my God, my pants don't fit and I have to go to a wedding or to a meeting or something, and my pants don't fit, so I got to exercise before this meeting so my pants will fit, and then they fit, and then you stop doing the things that were good for you, and then they don't fit anymore. So it's crisis to crisis to crisis. When you are engaged with a community, it's exciting to see the difference that it makes from a motivation, but also from a scientific perspective. There's a report that was put out by the National Institute of Health. I'm holding it in my hand right now, and here's what they say about it. They say social relationships, both quantity and quality, affect mental health. They affect healthy behavior, physical health, and mortality risk. Social isolation of otherwise healthy, well-functioning individuals eventually results in psychological and physical disintegration and even death. So we are social beings, and if you want to take somebody that's really fit and really healthy, isolate them, and they'll become what we call a more vulnerable person.
Absolutely. I'm going to give you a great example of that we see every day and we've seen for the last 27 years. And it's not necessarily the people you think it would be. It's our senior population. We have a huge senior program at Gold's Gym, and they come in every single day for a special exercise class, and I've watched them stay healthy, look healthy, feel better. Some of them have gotten off their medications or lessened their medications through exercise and proper nutrition. But the thing that keeps them coming back is they have developed a love for each other. They take care of each other inside and outside the gym. It's just been a beautiful thing to watch and to help foster and be a part of. But that socialization at the stage they are in their life has just been a game changer for all of them. I can't even imagine them not having a place like a Gold's Gym or their local gym to go to be able to not only exercise, but make friends, be with friends, and feel part of a community. It's truly priceless and has absolutely changed a lot of their lives.
Yeah, one of my favorite stories, I don't know if you saw it, there was and I can't think of the war hero's name. I'm mad at myself right now for not being able to think of his name, but he wanted to go to the 75th memorial at Pearl Harbor because he was there in Pearl Harbor when it happened in 1941. And he was 99 years old, but he was basically confined to a wheelchair, couldn't get up, couldn't move, and this event was going to be happening, which happened, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, where or a couple of years ago maybe, and he wanted to go, and he said, you know what, I'm going to make it. And he started exercising. And at 99, he changed his life.
That's
and he
amazing.
Started exercising. You can YouTube it too. And you look up war hero that goes to 103-year-old war hero that goes to Pearl Harbor, something like that. It'll come up. It's really an amazing story. And so he did make it. So he was able to walk around, he was able to move, and it was so meaningful for him to be able to make that journey because even at 99, he was able to change his life. And there's a lot of people that may be listening to this that they have just not taken that initiative. Maybe they don't have the right kind of support system, or they don't know what to do, or they think that maybe they're too old. And what you just said in the description of what's happening in your Gold's Gym in Paramus, anybody can do it no matter what their age.
Oh, absolutely. And you just gave a great story that shows you you're never too old to start. You're never too old to make changes, create a good lifestyle for yourself. The benefits are tremendous whether you're 9 or 99. I mean, it's going to work all the way through. It's so important. And it all starts in the household because if we teach our kids to stay active and follow a healthy lifestyle, they're going to grow up to be adults that are going to do that because it's the norm for them, and they're going to pass that on to their children and so on and so on. It's something anyone can do and that everyone should do to the best of their ability.
Absolutely, and there's always more ability if you get more support and the right kind of support. And what is interesting, and I'm going to shift the gears here a little bit because we've been talking about on some level through exercise, through fitness, that you can make yourself a less vulnerable person, less vulnerable to infections, building your immune system, strengthening your immune system, and becoming even a least vulnerable person. But there are people that are more vulnerable because if you think about this and you're listening to this and you're thinking about starting to make some changes and maybe you have some bad habits, and in the extreme, let's just say you sit with bad posture on the couch 14 hours a day and you don't move and you don't exercise and you're eating chips and maybe you're smoking or vaping and you got an extra 30, 40, 50 pounds on you and you're panicking because all of this stuff that's in the world you have, and you're a senior, you are the most vulnerable person on the planet. And you should be afraid, if that's you on some level, even if it's half of that, you should be afraid of everything. And every
Absolutely.
time, right? But every time you make one of those changes, which from your perspective, getting up, moving, and exercises, every one little change changes your life and makes you a least vulnerable or less vulnerable person. Talk to us a little bit, because I know you have members that have been members for 27 years. Talk about how you see people where they'll make one change, and because they make one change, they get more confident. So they make another, and then they make another. Can you talk about how that happens and how it snowballs in a positive direction?
Yep. And you hit it right on the head, because when you think about something like, let's say, losing 50 pounds, you can't think about losing 50 pounds. You take that larger goal and you kind of put it out there because you need to have a placeholder to look at it. But what you really have to do is lose a pound or two a week. You have to break it down into smaller, obtainable goals you can gain on your success, and success breeds success in everything we do. I don't care what it is. So if you can make small, obtainable goals and reach them, they will add up over time. And it's truly amazing how it works. So, I always tell people what grandma used to tell us, everything in moderation, has probably always been the time-tested advice that will stand the test of time. Because moderate exercise with good proper eating, it all works. Any little change you make is going to make you feel good about yourself. So there's a mental aspect. It's physically going to make you feel better, stronger, and more energetic, and it's going to make you want more. And that's going to lead you to your next little goal and your next little goal. And by the time you look back after 3 months, let's say, or 12-week program, you will maybe have lost 10, 12 pounds. And what a difference that makes on your way to your 50. So it's just how you approach it. It's the mental ability to focus and adapt and go with smaller goals and make your way to larger goals. And we just see it happen time after time after time. The main thing is, the reason why we love having people in the gym to do these things is we need them to stick to it. It's really no good. Well, it's always good to reach a goal. But if you reach a goal and then you give up because you weren't motivated enough, you couldn't stick with it. We always hear people say, I couldn't stick with it. Well, yes, you can. You can stick with it. It's just how you approach it and how you do it. It's your mindset. So if we can get people to stick to it, they will benefit in the long run.
And I love that. I'm going to even flip some of the words around here just because you talk about the mindset. There was a time in 2002 when I looked at myself, and we had 3 kids really close together. We had some challenges early on with one of our kids that he's fine today. It's an amazing story. In fact, he's a practicing chiropractor in Oregon, Jacob, with his sister, Emily. They have a great practice in Bend. But there was a time when I really put myself last. I grew up being fit, played football, and I looked here now, 2002, I looked at myself in a picture and I said, oh my God, who's that whale in a bathing suit? And literally I was close to 60 pounds heavier than I am now. And people would say to me after I eliminated the weight, they would say to me, Dr. Plasker, wow, you really lost a lot of weight. And I've kept it off for a lot of years. And I would say to them, no. I didn't lose anything. It was never mine. And
there you go. I love that.
Yeah, and I didn't take ownership of it. And we talk a lot in the 100-Year Lifestyle about not just looking to lose weight, but changing your life because, a lot of people that go to the gym and even people that a lot of them were athletes and never liked to lose. And then if they weren't an athlete, they never liked to lose in Scrabble, for crying out loud. Are you kidding me?
If you're competitive, you're always competitive.
Right. And so I think changing the wording has helped a lot of the people within the realm of the 100-Year Lifestyle eliminate weight, not lose their weight, because if you lose it, then you always want to find what you lose. And we don't ever want to do that, right? We want to just continue.
No, we want to put that away and never find it again.
Yeah. So, we have a saying in the 100-Year Lifestyle, learn to love the things that are good for you and then make them your new lifestyle. And here's a research tidbit for you. You probably know it already, but do you know what happens to the brain when you stop exercising?
Mine completely shuts down.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring, yeah.
I'm not very productive.
Yeah, so exactly. So when it comes to exercise, research published in the journal Frontier in Aging and Neuroscience revealed that endurance runners who skipped workouts for 10 days had reductions in blood flow to the brain, which is why you just said your brain stops working. Because we know that if you stop doing the things that are good for you, then the results of those good things go away. And I love when we get together like this. We don't do it enough. And I love going to your gyms. And one thing that I appreciate about Gold's is that you guys have, in a lot of your gyms, you have some of our colleagues, chiropractors in there, because they work with your people to help keep them fit, balanced, aligned so that they don't get injured. They have equal lifting on both sides. Talk about the relationships that you have with some of the other things that your gym owns, because I think a lot of them are individually owned, but there's kind of like a core thing that you can expect when you go to a Gold's Gym about the type of environment that people are going to get when they go there.
Absolutely. I mean, it's amazing. Gold's Gym, as I know you know the story, but it started back in 1965 with one bodybuilding gym developed by a man named Joe Gold. And Arnold Schwarzenegger kind of made it famous. And, we started out with that bodybuilding history, kind of when fitness was looked at as a weird thing. These guys were trying to create the best physiques in the world, and they really kind of started the fitness movement. And then it propelled with Jack LaLanne, who got on TV and in front of America, and what a story he was, and what an advocate.
He endorsed the 100-year lifestyle.
Absolutely, as well he should, because he lived it.
Yeah.
He might have been your first customer. I mean, he lived it to the very end.
Did you know that he was a chiropractor too?
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was a chiropractor.
But I do know that one of our beloved bodybuilders, Franco Colombo, was a chiropractor as well, as I believe.
Absolutely.
He was one of Arnold's best friends, and
yeah.
Wonderful man who recently passed away. So it started out that way and has morphed and evolved, as we all have, as fitness has, into a place where everyone's welcome. We have exercise classes. We have nursery daycare, not daycare, but nurseries where moms and dads can drop off their kids while they're working out. Just so many programs and seniors, as I mentioned before. So I have, 18-year-olds working out next to 80, 90-year-olds, all having a great time together and working out in harmony as part of a community that are all like-minded and all trying to get healthy in different ways. So circling back to chiropractic, it's something that I've always felt was a wonderful service for the members, because here we are trying to keep our bodies in tune. And what's better than having a chiropractor keep you in tune and keep your circulation moving and address areas that could be under stress or of concern in a holistic manner, which is exactly the kind of things we should be doing today. And just a personal story, I know you know this real well. In my spare time, I play some ice hockey and, of course, mess myself up every once in a while at my age, playing a pretty physical game, and threw my back out a few times. Never happened before in my life. I've been an athlete my entire life. Never had back trouble till later on when I started playing hockey and kind of pushing myself a bit. And it was chiropractic that, along with exercise, that really kept me back together and keeps me moving. So, and I am blessed to have a guy named Jordan Plaster as my chiropractor. So one of the famous Plaster brothers, who's a childhood friend of mine as well, from knowing you and your wonderful family. But he's in the gym. He's an Ironman athlete. He totally gets my members. He understands that the last thing they want to do is have an issue where they can't exercise.
Right.
They want to exercise. They want to keep moving. And that's why we have both a chiropractor and a physical therapist in our gym, so we can attack anything our members' needs are, and we can make sure that they can keep moving the right way without getting hurt, and they're the better for it. So it's just phenomenal relationship all the way around.
I love that. And it's so exciting to know that there are cultures that are healthy and least vulnerable cultures, I'll call them, where organizations, professions work together for the good of the whole, helping people live and function. We call it in the 100-year lifestyle, we say 100% for 100 years. We want people to live at 100% for 100 years and beyond. It sure beats 73% for 81 years or 64% for 89 years. So much better than that. And we're the first generation in history that is getting this advance notice. And I'll tell you what's interesting about our longevity potential, by the way, and what I think is important, and that your people understand, just like goals transform themselves over time to be fitness for everyone, specialty athletes and seniors and everybody in between. That's the way we are transforming people's perception of longevity, about what's possible. We are getting such a lesson, Mike, and I know you know this because we've talked about it before, with senior citizens and senior centers and assisted living centers popping up on literally nearly every corner in every community. And it's not because people are old. It's because people have been blindsided by their extended life. They think they're living on borrowed time when our generation is realizing, hey, no, this is birthright time. So how do we optimize it every step of the way? And I'm just excited and proud to have this relationship with you and with Gold and with so many other people that think and act in the same way that we do, because together at this critical moment in history, more than ever, we have to get to the people with this reality and this truth.
Yeah, I can't agree with you more, and it's such a pleasure for me to have obviously stay connected with you on a personal basis, because you're such a dear friend of mine forever, but on a professional level, to see the conversations we used to have. You were so far ahead of your time. I know I've told you this, but you've been thinking about longevity and the 100-year lifestyle and created this before it got, I'll call it in vogue, I guess.
Yeah,
just because
before it was cool. Yep.
Before it was cool, you know, kind of the way Gold's got involved with weight training. Before it was cool, you've done the same thing with the 100-year lifestyle and kind of what you're trying to educate the world on. And, you know, Gold's Gym in the fitness world, we play a part of that in the fitness piece. And it's awesome to be a part of it because there's obviously a lot of other components to the 100-year lifestyle. But what you're putting together, I think, is just phenomenal. I'm just honored to be a part of it.
Well, thank you, man. And can't wait to see you soon. And so exciting to know what you're doing and that you are not panicking over all of this, but you are still, like you guys always have done, not just you at your individual gym, but the organization, the Goals organization, looking out for, okay, how can we educate people and let people see the world in a new way where they didn't have to panic because they are coming least vulnerable people functioning hopefully at 100% for 100 years and beyond. So, my brother, closing comment or thought before we say goodbye, as this has been such a fun time that we have shared as always. Closing thoughts.
Well, I will say, I'll bring it back to the New York Jets, as I mentioned earlier. We always believe. And belief and faith is a really strong thing. I can't say with the Jets it's going to ever come true, but you know what? We're going to get through all this. We're going to get through it together with people like yourself and your mission and Gold's Gym and ours and so many other wonderful people out there who do what they do. We will get through it. So I think it's just time for the country to be together. And it's going to be time for us when the dust settles to get back to the norm, get back to our normal lives, and to improve our immune systems and our fitness levels and our health and all the things we know we should have been doing all along the way. Let's really start doing them. So for anyone who's not, this is going to be the greatest time in the world to start.
Beautifully said. So Mike at Gold's Gym Paramus, Bergen County, they're ready there. So is that whole organization. They're ready. I know we're ready. We're taking it on, our affiliates around the country and our supporters around the country. We're all ready because it's time. And Mike, so listen, from the bottom of my heart, I love and appreciate you so much. Cherish our friendship. And big hugs to your family. And thanks for speaking the truth to all of our people. So with Mike Epstein, my good friend from Gold's Gym, to all of you, Dr. Eric Plasker, signing out.
Thank you so much for joining us on the 100-Year Lifestyle Podcast. We hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have topics that you want us to cover, people you want us to interview, maybe you have some stories that you want to share, stories of yourself, loved ones, people in your life, we would love to hear from you and share your story. Please email us at my100@100yearlifestyle.com. And remember, nobody wants to get to 100 or even 50, 60, or 70 for that matter, crippled, broke, and alone. So please share the 100-Year Lifestyle, all of our podcasts, social media pages, website with your family, friends, and coworkers so they can take this journey with you. And until next time, adjust your lifestyle. Live your best life today and every day on the road to a sensational century.